Hello everyone and welcome to another video. Today I am actually doing a monthly TBR video, which you usually don't see from me. I usually don't make TBRs, but this year I have started keeping a reading bullet journal. So I have been doing monthly TBR spreads, and when I mean TBR, I don't mean like strict, this is what I have to stick to. I just write down some titles that I'm currently interested in reading pretty soon, and it's fun to cross off if I do read them. But like no stress if I don't, because I don't want to just write down something and have to stick to that, you know what I'm saying? If you want to see a like full in-depth flip through, go watch my reading vlog I just uploaded. I went through it. It's great. I'm having so much fun with my reading journal. So let's go to my March spread and talk about my books that I want to read this month. So the first book I want to talk about is Spiritbound by Rochelle Mead. This is book 5 in the Vampire Academy series. I started rereading this series last year, so I'm just continuing on with my reread. I have already started this one and I'm on page 173, so my reread is going good. I love the series. If you know me, you know I love vampires. I first read the series in high school maybe like 6 years ago, and so it's been so much fun to pick them up again and just revisit the world. Another book that I want to reread this month is City of Lost Souls by Cassandra Clare. I have been rereading all of Cassandra Clare's books since last year. I started with The Infernal Devices, and this is book 5 in the Mortal Instruments series. Once again, having a great time rereading. I am a little bit of a ways into this one already. I'm on page 163, so it's going great. I'm having a great time, like I said. I love Cassandra Clare. I love all of her characters, and this is the first time I'm rereading the Mortal Instruments in probably like 6 years once again. I read this and Vampire Academy around the same time, so it's kind of nostalgic to be rereading them at the same time again, but yes, love it. The next book I want to read is Forged in Fire and Stars by Andrea Robertson. This is an arc that comes out in May, and so I have a few arcs that I want to read before they come out, so if I don't read this month, I still have until May. We're good. This one I know is a fantasy, and all I know about it, it says Game of Thrones meets An Ember in the Ashes in this action-packed fantasy from the internationally best-selling author of the Nightshade series, which I haven't read the Nightshade series, but this cover is really beautiful and I'm just really excited to have an arc of it. I love An Ember in the Ashes. Haven't seen or read Game of Thrones, but it's like highly acclaimed, so I'm sure I'll love this one. Next, I need to throw in some contemporaries and romances because that is one of my favorite genres. So I have The Hating Game by Sally Thorne. This one, I know it's like a hate to love like trope. They work together, I think, and they hate each other, and then hate to love, you know how it ends. I love tropes. Any kind of trope I pretty much will read about, especially hate to love. This one is like highly recommended by so many people love it, and it was gifted to me by my friend Avery. I'll leave her channel down below. But yes, I'm really excited to get to this one just because I love romance and contemporaries and love and hate to love and all sorts of things. Another contemporary romance I would love to get to is Save the Date by Morgan Matson. This is the only Morgan Matson book I have yet to read. I know it's about like a wedding and wedding planners perhaps, and I think that like everything that can go wrong goes wrong. I love Morgan Matson. You already know because I've said it multiple times in this video. I love contemporary romance, so I'm really excited to finally read this one. So I also wanted to add a little bit of manga onto my TBR, so the one I chose was Blackbird Volume 1. I don't know much about this, but I know that it's like a world with myth and magic, and only a few can see it, and this one follows the girl that can, but she wants nothing to do with the magical realms, and she just wants a boyfriend. Like, okay, sign me up. Now this one is kind of out of place on my TBR because it's one of those books that you read in the fall, and that is Dracula. Who is this by? Bram Stoker. Of course it's by Bram Stoker. So if you know me, you know that I hate classics, but I love vampires. So we're gonna see if I end up loving this original vampire story. I mean, if I love vampires, I have to read the original, the OG vampire story. The next book I have is like a really hard-hitting book, and I love hard-hitting books, but this one's going to be really sad and difficult to read, and that is Soldier Boy by Keeley Hutton. So this is a story about a 14-year-old boy who has been abducted in Uganda to fight in the Civil War. So this is based on truth, and so it's going to be real hard to read, but also I feel like a really important read. The next book I have is a really short book. I'm not sure if it's a middle grade or not, but I guess we'll find out when I read it. And that is Goldfish by Nat Lertsema. It follows a girl named Louise who loves swimming, and her dream is to make it to the Olympics. So she goes to the trials and she comes in dead last, and her best friend comes in first. So that's gonna be hard. You're sad for yourself, but you have to like pretend, or you're actually happy for your best friend. is gonna be interesting. I love like Olympics and everything, especially like swimming in the Olympics. It's one of my favorite events, so this should be really fun to read. It's also really short. And finally, the last book I have on my TBR is The Rest of the Story by Sarah Dessen. This is the last Sarah Dessen that I owned that I need to read. I don't believe I've read all of her books, but I own like 10 of them, and so this is the last one that I currently own that I haven't read. I just read a Sarah Dessen book in February, so I kind of like want to keep that going because I'm super in the mood for her books. I don't know much about this one, but I know that it is probably a hard-hitting contemporary because all of her books are. Alright, so these are all the books that I would like to read, maybe read, we'll see if I read in March. It is kind of a variety of different genres and stories. It's kind of all over the place, but like I said, I'm not strict with my TBR. I just write it down so I can make a pretty spread in my TBR or in my reading journal. So we'll see. It's fun to cross off if I do. But yes, that is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. As always, my social media links will be down below, and I'll see you next time. Bye!